Hello, everyone. How are we all doing? I hope we're all doing well. Actually, if you want to answer that question, I might not be reading it because this is the Wanted Streaming Podcast, which means that channel point redemptions are turned off. Hi, Jesse. Channel point redemptions are turned off for these streams, as I intend to do for all of them that we do. And also the chat. I may silently respond while the guest is talking, but other than that, yeah. But today we have one of my best friends on. Exactly 1 year since I followed, and exactly 1 year since you raided Sean. We have Panel Plus Damage. Howdy.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't believe it's like already been a year. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's the thing. Like, time flies when you're having fun, they say, and apparently at this point, time flies when you're around good people, and you're certainly one. You're certainly one of them.
Oh,
Yeah. That being said, like, how are you doing on this very day, doing this very thing? How are you doing?
I can't really complain. I mean, we're doing good. That whole game grand permadeath thing, getting one completion this month
Yeah, did you get that?
and starting late.
That was your first attempt as well, like your first attempt back, right?
It was my second.
Your second, yeah. You got close on your first attempt though, didn't you? Like, what day did you get to?
Yeah, the first attempt I made it all the way to Santa Barbara.
Yeah, like I remember because I tweeted about it saying, like this setting, 3 weeks absence, hardest difficulty, permadeath, first attempt
Mhm.
back, almost completes the whole entire thing. 7 out of 8 like chapters. I think that's the word because it's the 3 days, Santa Barbara, and the prologue. Uh,
Yeah.
yeah. So I was like, that just demonstrates your skills and how like the way that I would put it is, Last of Us 2 is over a year old, and there are games that are about a decade old that MLG players don't do nearly as well on as you do with Last of Us 2. So I don't know if that's a testament to your skills or the amount of hours you put into it.
I mean, I've definitely put like a lot of hours into the game, over 1100, probably 1200 by now.
Yeah, and that is more than me on COD Zombies, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I know it's more on BO3 Zombies. BO3 Zombies I played in 2016, and I've played still today, so that's 5 years. And my time played on that is lower than your time on Last of Us 2. Let that
I
sink
feel
in.
like that says a lot.
Yeah, it says a lot. It's not only like by how much you enjoy the game, but also like how much like you enjoy these permadeaths. Like permadeaths, I think like are a good thing. I think it's the one good thing, or at least the one best thing that Last of Us Two did with its game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely addicting, permadeath is.
Yeah,
And I feel like so they're supposed to be doing like the remake of the first game or whatever, and I'm really hoping that they put permadeath in the remake because I mean, I used to do no death challenges on the first game too. And so like if they put permadeath in it, like that's just going to be amazing.
yeah. Like I feel like that's the one thing that Last of Us One. That like when you go back to Last of Us One, it's like 2013 game, right? And for me, Last of Us 1 is a masterpiece. Like, I've not played it, but I've seen the story. It's a masterpiece, but in terms of gameplay, like, you don't know what's missing until you see the Last of Us 2 put in permadeath, and you're like, oh, I didn't realize I needed this my whole life.
Right? Like okay, so my birthday stream last year, I decided to go back to The Last of Us 1, and I felt so limited. Like, I just wanted to, like, prone dive or, like, dodge, and, like, I couldn't do any of that stuff. And I was like, okay, well, with the remake, I'm sure happy that they're doing a remake because you literally can't do anything in part 1.
Yeah, like, when it comes to. I have this issue with the Telltale games as well. It's like, you play the game, you finish the story, and it's like, now what? Do I replay it, or do I just uninstall it and keep the achievements, but have more space for new games? I had that issue with The Walking Dead seasons 1 and 2 because I really loved those games, and they were probably the most replayable games out of all the Telltale games that I've played, but when it came to that, it was just I wanted to do more, but they didn't provide more, and I guess that's the point in Telltale in general, that it's story over replayability. But I would have loved it if they gave us just something a little bit more with their stories or with their gameplay. But
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the thing about like decision making games is the fact that you can replay it. Like with Until Dawn, like you
yeah,
can
Until Dawn. I really want to play it.
yeah, but like you could like do so many different things and have so many different outcomes and like have different people survive for different reasons or people dying for different reasons or like shooting someone in the eye or having them get sawed to death. Like,
Yeah. I mean, to be fair to like when it comes to that, like Telltale, like The Walking Dead season 1 came out in 2012, and I think Until Dawn was 2016. Oh, excuse me. And with that, it's like, yeah, it's fair that you don't have as many options of who survives and who dies. But I feel like because Walking Dead final season, I think that came out after Until Dawn, and I would have loved it if they like give us just more options and more people who we could kill, or more people that we could just spare, more people who can survive, more people who can die. I feel like that would have been like a good fitting end to the Walking Dead series as a whole.
yeah, I mean, I personally have never actually played Walking Dead.
Ooh, you know what?
Um,
You should at one
what?
point, I think. Like not every season, at least season one, because season one is their best game in my opinion. Season one, then season two, if you love season one, because the way I see it is just like season one is like the standalone season. It's the only one that really stands alone. And you know, I'm pretty sure you got Walking Dead season one recommended to you at one point during one of your streams, and people were like, if you
I
like,
might have.
yeah, if you love Ellie, you're gonna like Clem, because
Hmm.
Clem is such a Clem's such a good character. When you play all the games, Clem is such a great character, and she has other great characters around her. Especially with season one, like season one's without a doubt the standout when it comes to characterization, and then I feel like they just got a bit more vague with their characterizations as time went on. But it's what games do. Like the more you continue the series, the more likely it's going to just diminish. Which is why I hope like Last of Us ends in a trilogy.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to The Last of Us, like there's like rumors that they're doing like a third game, but then people are like, I don't know. I hope that they ended at part two. But then I'm like, no, I'm not done with Ellie. Like I want more Ellie.
Yeah,
And yeah, and then there's rumors that they're working on the multiplayer. There's a lot of rumors going around with the Last of Us franchise.
yeah. I feel like that's the one thing that Naughty Dog does well as with their Last of Us games is that they as just like their rumors are like it's just conversation really. It's conversation. It's that keeps the community alive. And the more
Mhm.
rumors that circle around, more that either come true or just end up being a myth, the more that people are going to talk about it. And I feel like with most games nowadays, it's just more like they don't really have anything to talk about after the game's release, and then that's how their communities die. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah. Uh,
yeah. And if you think about it, like if all that is being said about The Last of Us comes true, then there's a lot of entertainment that we're gonna get soon. Like there's gonna be a lot of content because like or like soon-ish, like within the next like probably 5 years or whatever. Because there's the HBO show, there's the Last of Us Part One remake, there's the multiplayer that they're supposed to be working on, and then The Last of Us Part Three. So like that's a
yeah.
lot to take in.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, I'm excited for all of those things. My biggest hope with the Last of Us One remake, and also my biggest fear, is how they would incorporate Abby into the story. Because my biggest problem with Abby is just how artificial the writing is on it. Because it's like, uh, her dad being the Doctor, it feels a bit more shoehorned in for me than it does like natural. Because I feel like it's just pure like, especially when you have those people that say like, you know, Abby's dad looks nothing like the Doctor in Last of Us One. So I feel like when it comes to this remake, I feel like they're going to like iron out and like smooth all the edges from the first game to make it a bit more digestible when you're playing the second game, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, maybe. I think I don't know. I think I mean, it would be pretty cool if they gave us like some flashbacks with Abby or something to kind of make part 2 seem not so like, by the way, there's this character that you're going to play half the game with. Like
Yeah. I think that's why people are so upset as well, because it's just like we are forced to not only play a character that killed a fan favourite, but also we're playing the character for half the game while
that nobody knows.
Yeah, and they're trying to make us hate this other half that everyone knows and has grown to love throughout the franchise. They're going to try and make us hate them, and it's like, then please, Naughty Dog, calm down.
I mean, so personally, like, I've heard that people feel like Naughty Dog is trying to get us to like Abby or whatever, and it feels forced or whatever. I never really felt that way because I know people that played part 2 that at the end of the game still didn't like Abby. I personally am one of the ones that I do like Abby. Um, but at the same time, like, I don't feel like they're trying to get us to hate Ellie either because I mean, she's going on this like rampage. Like,
Yeah.
she's gonna do things that even she doesn't agree with, but she feels like it's the right thing to do at the time. Because she's just emotion is a what emotion is a yeah.
Yeah. And I like when we have like these conversations in your streams where it's just like we talk about was Abby right to do what she did? Not only is that a great idea, like not only does that provide great conversation with like the story. Once again, we like when we were referring to earlier about the conversations that we have with The Last of Us and Naughty Dog. I feel like that's also a thing where we have plenty to discuss about that situation. It's like you said, you don't think that they're trying to make us like Abby but understand her. And also they're not trying to make us hate Ellie but see that see how things can go too far in even the best people. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I personally feel like they weren't trying to make us like Abby, but they were like trying to make us understand like why she did what she did, that she's like not just this villain that like went to like go do what she did or whatever. I feel like they were trying to show like everyone's human kind of, and that
Yeah.
she had a reason for doing what she did, and like I think that's why we played as Abby for so long, is to understand that she is human, that she has feelings, that she was wronged, but then also show that afterwards nothing changed. Like, she still feel like she probably feels terrible for what she did, but she has to live with her decisions.
I would have loved it a bit more if they had it so that she becomes a bit more undone with her actions, that she's more driven with her own guilt. Like, she thought like if she's to like lash out more at her own allies over the fact that she just feels bad that she did what she did and like has like these self-doubts. I feel like that would have probably humanized her a little bit more, in my opinion.
Maybe, but also if you think about how she talks to her friends or whatnot, I feel like she feels numb about everything. Like,
that is true,
yeah. Like, she just feels numb. Like, she just, I don't know. Like, she's just that hurt to where she just feels nothing. She just completely feels numb until she meets Lev and Yara, and then they kind of help her move on.
I guess I feel like in that sense I could like potentially like relate to that. I mean, quite a few people probably could, but like me personally, I was like, yeah, there was like a time in my life where I was just numb to everything because it was just bad shit after bad shit. And then you come across that one good person in your life that helps you turn things around. For me, that would be Kira, my friend Kira. Like, I still had Lucas and all my friends there, but like Kira was like a new friend and also like acting like a really good friend. And what I love about like how she helped me turn things around is that yeah, like I guess in that sense I could probably like relate to Abby, and I feel like in that sense that's like some people probably also like feel that way. So I guess yeah, like in that sense, Abby would be a divisive character because I feel like people who do understand Abby and have been through like similar shit where shit happens, but then you meet that one person or those two people or this group of people to improve yourself, and like they drive you to be better. I feel like anyone who can relate to that it would probably would get behind Abby, but also like this is a case study that I find quite intriguing. Is that in some ways, the way that we are perceived with Abby is quite similarly to how we are shown Negan in The Walking Dead. Uh, you're not interested in The Walking Dead, are you? Before I go spoiling.
I no, I mean I haven't seen it, but I'm probably won't.
Okay, good. Spoil it for The Walking Dead to anyone in the chat. But in both the comics and the show, we are introduced to Negan, and he has the heroes, the protagonists, on their knees in front of him while he's swagging around a bobbed wire baseball bat, wearing a leather jacket, looking cool as fuck. Everything that he's saying like he's outlining logically and clearly that they killed his people, and so as a punishment to it, he's going to kill one of them. Like not all of them, like he could do because they all killed, but just one of them at random. He ends up in the comic. He ends up killing the fan favorite Glenn. And he hits him so hard, like it's a brutal kill. He doesn't kill him in one shot. He's still conscious. With his pregnant wife in the lineup as well. But Negan's just like no exceptions, and he just swings and kills him. Which like is similar to the way that Joel was like killed with the golf club, where it's like just beaten to death right in front of someone who cares about him. And in the show, it was Abraham, who was also a fan favorite, killed him. That was all fine, and then someone went up and punched him in the face, which was against his rules. So as punishment, he kills Glenn again, but in the TV show. And it's the same situation. Pregnant wife is there, but he doesn't care. No exceptions. Beats him to death. And I feel like with the thing is like with those two scenes compared to the Abby killing Joel scene, both have a character killing a fan favorite and one of the main protagonists from the start of the said medium that they're in. But the way that I see it is that because Negan is actually shown to be a villain, while Abby is shown to be a bit more morally grey. And I feel like with that, that's one of the reasons why I personally can't get behind like the character of Abby, is because like I've seen Negan do it. He was evidently a villain, so why can't I just think of Abby as a villain for the same reason? And that's why I personally was like, yeah, sorry, Abby, no.
I feel like it's also just perspective because like if you
Yeah.
look at it like on Abby's end, like you understand why she did what she did because like
Oh, I understand.
I've said this on my stream before. Like if someone killed like if it was the apocalypse and someone killed my brother the same way that Joel killed Abby's father, then yeah, I would probably do the same thing Abby did, and vice versa. Like if someone killed my brother the same way that Abby killed Joel, I would probably go on her.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And I also feel like that kind of shows that in the apocalypse, nobody's safe. Like even if you're a fan favorite character,
no one's a hero.
like yeah, but like even if you're like a fan favorite character, like yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I feel like that's a good way that they went about it. I feel like that was another thing that I was going to bring up that I completely forgot. What was I going to say? I don't know. Well, you know what? We're gonna move on from that because I don't know what I was gonna say. Uh, but yeah, like you streamed a lot of Last of Us and Last of Us 2. But
Yes,
before Last of Us 2 even came out, you were a variety streamer, weren't you?
I was with a whole 6 viewers.
With a whole 6 viewers.
A whole six.
Relatable. uh, so what games did you stream?
Ooh. Uh, well, I played a little bit of Valorant. I was terrible. Um, I played Fortnite for like a week. Again, terrible. I played, and then I started getting into like story games. Because I used to play story games just on my own, but then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try streaming story games, and then that's when I actually started growing my channel. And so then I started playing Life is Strange. I played Life is Strange 2, and then I played Detroit Become Human. I played Spider Man. I still need to play Miles Morales. I haven't done that yet, but
I've seen Miles Morales. Would recommend. It's a really good game. It's
I
a
hear
bit
it's also
short.
short.
Yeah, it's a bit short. It feels more like a DLC to Spider-Man PS4 than it does its own game, but it's still worth it in my opinion after what I've seen from it.
Yeah, I mean, I still definitely want to play it at some point, but as of right now, like, my brain is not even on any other game, so I don't really want to spend money on a game I'm not gonna play yet.
Yeah, you have this. I don't want to call it an obsession, but like a more of a fixation.
It's an obsession.
Yeah, it's an
It's
obsession.
an
I was
obsession.
gonna say fixation on Last of Us 2, so I don't blame you personally because I've personally like on Christmas I got a Switch with Mario Kart 8, and I've just been playing that every day, and I'm just like, fuck. Whenever like I get hit with a red shell or something, and it's just
Yeah.
like you just want to like because especially with Mario Kart, it's like you got five different things. You got 50, 100, 150, and 200cc, and you've also got Mirrored
Hmm.
Cup. And so it's like you got, especially with Mario Kart 8, it's got the most races and most cups. It's got 12 cups per like level, so that's a grand total of 12 times 5, which is 60. 60 different cups that you can go for over 5 different levels, and it's just like you just want to keep going and get them all. But you also have online play, which is equally as addicting because you just want to get that first place.
Yep. I know what you're talking about. I used to
Yeah.
be really bad at Mario Kart to the point where I literally had somebody on online game wait for me at the finish line and then like he crossed the finish line later. And I'm like, wow.
What a kind soul. You know
And
what?
like, wow.
You know what? Everyone, you all better be that kind to your fellow online brethren, and not
Yeah, but
be that.
now I mean
Yeah.
I'm not that bad anymore now. Like, and I love Rainbow Road. Like, if I'm
Which one? There's
playing,
three.
uh, I don't remember which one it
It's
is. It's the
Special
one
Cup,
that's
Lightning Cup, and the one that is neither of them.
it's the one that's more difficult, more
That narrows
complex.
it down. Is it the one with
Yeah,
that's like one big lap?
basically, yeah.
Yeah, that's a Lightning Cup one. That's probably my favorite one actually. Thinking about it. Uh,
Yeah, but that one is like my favorite like course of them all. And like I always whenever I'll play like Mario Kart with my friends, um I always
you vote
vote for
Rainbow
that
Road,
one
and
and
then
they're
it's
like
like, oh, why did you have to
I
do this?
always vote for it and they're like, "Come on, Sam. Like, can you do anything else?" I'm like, "No."
Oh,
We have to
well,
do it at least once.
we've all got to do it.
And
Oh,
so now it's gotten to the point where they'll also vote for Rainbow Road just for me.
just for you. Oh,
Yeah.
God, I can't imagine how you would be like in a Monopoly. Like, okay, I've got to get this particular one. If anyone else gets it, I will launch this trade until you say yes. Oh, yeah. So
Yeah.
you've played a huge variety, and your anniversary is not too far after your birthday, right? Uh,
Yeah, January 20th,
20th. What year did you start?
2016. That was my
Okay,
first ever stream.
20th January 2016. God, 2016 was a good year. But yeah, so it was like, oh, I got a follow. Thank you, Psycho. And that's the sound for it. When it came to like your aims back then for your streaming, well, when you started streaming, versus how your uh targets are now for streaming, how would you say like your aims have evolved over these 5 years? I
Can
just
you
made
say
Sam.
that one more
I just
time?
made you full screen there.
My
So
brain just was like, nope, what?
uh, yeah, I didn't really word it that easily for you. So when you started back in 2016, uh, with the goals that you had in mind then, how do you say that those goals have evolved to today?
I mean, back then, I didn't really have any goals. I was kind of just streaming to stream. Like, and I streamed so much that I ended up getting burnt out in like 6 months because I used to do like like I used to stream like all the time. Like, probably 8 to 12 hours of my day would be streaming. Uh, and I would play like a bunch of different games that I don't even play anymore now, but yeah, so I didn't really have any goals back then. And especially since like Twitch affiliate wasn't a thing.
Wait,
And so
what? It
like
wasn't a thing. It wasn't a thing in 2016. I thought it was always there.
no, no, I don't think I don't think Twitch affiliate became a thing until 2018.
Ah,
Um,
what did they have
or
instead? Was it just Twitch?
2017.
Was it just Twitch partnership then?
Yeah, it was just Twitch partnership. So when I was doing it, like unless like the only way I was able to make like money off of streaming was donations. And at that point, like I also didn't really have a donation button until probably 3 months later when people are like, I want to donate to you. And I'm like, you could donate to me? Like what?
Uh,
Yeah, so I didn't really have any goals back then, but I mean now my goals are simple. It's to make people's days better. It's to be the escape for people so they don't have to think about real world situations. It's I mean Twitch partner would be cool. Being able to do this full time would be cool. So, yeah,
that's the dream,
it's
isn't
definitely
it? To do it full
it is
time and to
it
be
is a
able to,
dream.
yeah, like doing it full time and being paid for it is good. But it's like you said, like the best part about it is when you can make those days just that little bit better. Because
Mhm.
I remember Commander Coop actually asked a question on Twitter saying, why is it, to all the streamers out there, why is it that you choose to stream? And I said, because if you can make just one person's day that little bit better, then you are doing your job as a human being. Because
Yeah.
we live in a world where, like, we've got, like, people, at least in my country, we have people more, like, wanting to talk about politics, more wanting to talk about how much they dislike a certain political group, and then we have people like, and meanwhile we have people who unfortunately have a lot of homeless, like we have a lot of homeless people in our country, and but like even then it's also the battles that we have with our own mental health. And with that, like, I feel like, especially with me, and I'm sure you can agree, when you find that streamer that are just like they don't have to understand you, but they just make your days better. Like, and that was my motivation when my day started to become better, just by watching Sean. I was just like, I want to do that for people who need that, who feel like they are worried about the real world in any way, shape, or form, not just like with how things have been going the past couple of years, but also like the entire time. And that's why I wanted to start streaming. And I'm glad that I did, because if I didn't start streaming, then, and if I didn't take the risk to like check out Sean's stream, you would not have rated her. I would not have met you. This would not be happening right now.
Yeah, it's just crazy how things happen. Um, but yeah, I totally like agree, and I yeah, like the whole reason I even came back to streaming is because like I missed it after not doing it for like a year, and then but I also missed like I just like being an escape for people. I like having like a safe place for people, and a place that people know is accepting. So like if you're in the like LGBTQ community or whatever, and like you don't have really a support system, at least you know in my channel you have that support system. Like you're not alone in whatever you're going through.
Yeah, and I feel like Twitch communities are the personification of that exact message without having to even say it. It's just like you go into these communities, and if they welcome you, they welcome you. If they don't welcome you, they're probably bad communities. Uh, you know, like, but I've never met a bad community. It's always been like a bunch of like cool people, funny people, wholesome people. Sometimes all of the above. Like I like even like in these days, like I've been streaming for over a year. You'd think when you've like streamed for over a year that you would stop like finding these communities, but you just keep finding them. Like more just keep rising up, more keep coming round, and you're just like we're lucky to have this platform, as flawed as it is, like that we can find these communities. Uh, so yeah, and like you've been streaming a lot longer than me. So yeah, like how often do you normally find like those streaming communities?
Like I tend to try to stay on the good side of Twitch. But there have been a couple times where I would pop into like a stream and immediately like I see how the chat is, I see how the streamer is, and I'm like, this community, not for me. And then I pop into the next one without like saying anything. So I have like seen the communities where I'm like, no, not my kind of vibe.
Yeah,
Uh,
like I do.
but yeah.
Like I definitely get that, especially like when you get those. Like there's certain jokes that just don't like you just either just don't like they don't fly with you, or they just don't, you don't find funny or something like that. Like I think
Mhm.
the big one is obviously sexual jokes. Like people make sexual references, and you're just like, no, no.
For me, I'm like, no, thank you. I'm out before I get uncomfortable. Thank you, though.
Yeah, like you're just sliding back into your chair. Nope, keep away from me. Uh,
Like, thanks for like doing what you do and making people happy that can vibe with you, but it's not for me.
yeah, like there are certainly other ones like when you just like more. Some people have like more morbid humor, and you're just like, but that's not that. Once again, that doesn't gel well with everyone. Like some people feel like that's a bit just too morbid for them, so that's not their communities. And I feel like that's the thing when you're like with your community, it's more like wholesome humor, with a bit of banter between you and me normally. Lemonade is
Yeah.
fizzy, folks. uh, but yeah, like when it comes to that, it's like it's a bit easier to moderate for you than it is to mod for someone like say Sean, who I also mod for. Where it's like you don't know what jokes fly, what jokes don't. So you're just like, "Ooh, do I need to do something about this or not?" And then, but when I'm in your stream, they're like, "Well, I know what you like and don't like to read in your streams." I'm just like, "Okay, just delete message, ask kindly, doop de doop." uh,
Right.
yeah, and I feel like that's why I admire your community a bit more than like your average or like than your like frequent communities. Well, because you have a bit more of a clear ground set, well, yeah, a bit more grounded set of rules with your streams, and I feel like when it comes to creating your rules as a streamer, uh, is there like any times where you feel like you have to make like an exception for certain individuals with the rules that you create?
Yeah, and honestly, like I'm not gonna say this because I know some people are in my community that are watching this right now, but and not tooting my own horn or anything, but I do have a pretty awesome community. I will admit that. Like I love my community. I I wouldn't change my community for anything. And what's funny is like, and this is like completely not what we were talking about, but what's funny is after taking the year break or whatever, uh my community, like I went from probably 15 to 30 average to about 3 when I came back. And so my community is like completely different now. Like people that I would see back then, I don't even see anymore at all. Like maybe once in a while, like one of them will pop in and be like, "Hey, what's up? It's been a while." But like yeah, my community is like completely different, and to be honest, like don't tell the other community this, but I'm actually kind of glad because this community is so much more um mature. The other
Yeah,
community was very
community.
much
Take that.
the other yeah, the other community was very much more childish because back then I played a lot of Minecraft.
Yeah. I
So
mean, nothing wrong with a bit of Minecraft. Fortnite, on the other hand.
yeah,
Oh,
but like I had like I mean you're supposed to be 13 on Twitch. I had a lot of 12-year-olds in my chat and I
yeah.
was I think
Yeah.
18.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's not
yeah,
really a bad
I
thing
yeah.
if you don't have mature content on. But if you do, then you're just like, "Oh, okay, bye. Sorry." I had someone like do that this month actually when I was playing Black Ops 2's Buried. It was specifically thanks Butspot. And yes, I do have Butspot installed because of course I do. Uh, when it comes to like uh them, it was just like they just seemed like an okay person, and they said they were of a certain age. And I was like, is that a joke or are you being 100% serious? I do have to know. And then they said they were being serious. I'm like, okay, bye. And then I explained outright clearly why they weren't, why they were banned. I was like, yeah, if you're going to tell me your age and you're going to tell me it's like under a certain age, I've got to ban you.
Yeah, it's just like it's just crazy to think about how different the community is now. The fact that the game itself has like a huge impact on the type of community you have too. Cause like The Last of Us Part 2, for example, because of the game itself, you tend to have and I said this in my stream before, and you're like, I don't know if I should be offended or not,
Yeah.
but like you tend to have more like accepting and like um what did I say? It was you tend to have more accepting and
Mature.
people that can are open-minded
Yeah.
with that kind of game. Whereas Minecraft, you tend to have people that are kind of more childish and like to joke around, but maybe not in like the good way and like or whatnot. And so
Yeah, I remember like yesterday. It was like they came in like saying I like because they couldn't like they had a bit of issue like with their English, so it wasn't completely grammatically correct. So it was like I don't know if I feel like the message was either saying like uh something along the lines of if you don't like Last of Us 2, then you're of a lower intelligence. I was like, I don't know whether or not I should be offended by that. Should I get the hammer out? Uh, but yeah, like, and then they did apologize, so yeah, they do have that maturity. And I feel like that's the one thing that really shows maturity is that when you admit that you either crossed the line or that you were wrong, and say you do have the ability to apologize for it and then move on. I think that is certainly something that a lot of communities do certainly need to have outside of Last of Us 2. Because, yeah, like, to anyone who doesn't know, I don't like The Last of Us 2. But I stick around I stick around Mirror streams, Sammy streams, I hang out in Alexandria streams from time to time, if I'm awake.
yeah, she tends to stream a lot later, so you tend to be
Yeah, I'm just
asleep.
like, 1 a.m., fucking Alexandra. uh,
Yeah.
Yeah, like the reason why I hang out is because the people there are genuinely pleasant, which is the most British thing I've ever said in my life. But it is really like a lovely like time to be around these communities. Uh,
Yeah,
and
and not only that, like you like with The Last of Us, at least, you get a lot less trolls. But like when you do get that one troll, the community like has your back so much that they like give the troll a hard time about it.
That reminds me of a story, Pineapple Sandwich.
Uh-oh.
In your
Oh gosh.
server at one point, like someone followed you like either the day before or a couple of days before the incident occurred. I was watching Dead Island 2 trailer because the game never released, and I was like, oh, why is Dead Island 2 not a thing? It was during the time where all the Twitch got exposed, and at one point, like it was me and Vira, I think it was. We went into your Discord and said, "Hey guys, change your passwords to everything, else you're gonna get hacked," basically. And then there was this one individual, I can't remember their name because they aren't worth my recognition. Who was like, I'm here for, like, if it's going to help my shots, I'm here for Last of Us 2. And I was like, no, this is about your account. You need to change your account password, else you're going to not find it in the same way, shape, or form ever again. And they just didn't understand. I was like making it logically, outlining clearly that they just had to change their password because they are, like, their security has been compromised. And at one point they said, are you are you a robot? Are you a bot? Or are you just a bad person? And they started cursing my family. I was like, okay, bye.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then Var and I were just like talking shit about it afterwards. Like, oh, well, this is what happens when you pick the bear. And then I think it was Bonsai who was like, what on earth was happening here? I can't believe I missed it. So yeah, like that happened like quickly to the point where we were just like I'm pretty sure you've either forgotten about it or never noticed it happening because I'm pretty sure you were asleep at the time. And then it was just...
Yeah, I mean, this is the first I've heard of it. So.
Yeah, like this was like back in October, September time, when it first happened, and he's like, "Fuck you, you prick." I mean, I'm not going to like. I show no mercy to twats. I mean, I feel like that's the difference between you and me. The biggest difference is that when you like ban someone, you're a lot more mature. I'm just like I just flip them off, give them all the shit that I can, because at the end of the day, like I'm being the smug asshole to a smug asshole. So I don't mind being that person. I mean, when I'm around good people, I'm never like that. But when that bad person like comes around, I'm just like, okay. But yeah, like you said, we did get that one bad egg, but then you forget about it afterwards.
Yeah, I mean, when I ban someone, I don't really say anything about it. I'm just like, you're out. Like,
bye.
Like in my mind, I'm like, nope, and like I just ban them without saying anything. And then if the streamer has like a question, then I'll like message them like, hey, by the way, I banned this person for so and so, and then they're usually like, okay, because like when it's me banning someone, then the streamer's like, oh, it's Sammy. Then like they did something to like piss off Sammy, like.
Yeah, like I mean, I feel like when it came to like that, I'm pretty sure there was also like this one time in your stream where I banned someone, and they were being a bit of a prick, and while you were forgetting about it, I was just like giving them shit in chat, and then you were just laughing about it as well. So it's just like it's funny how different we are, but also how similar we are when it comes to it. Because when you and I talk like in our DMs, we are pretty like we talk about shit, and we're like, oh shit, we found a similarity, and then when you hear the both of us talk on stream and also in chats, you have you who's a bit more like laid back, and there's me who is chaotic neutral, to put it in its most basic form. And I feel like when it came to actually modding for you, there was also another individual who we will not name. I'm pretty sure you know who it is. When you were like getting mods like to apply, you were hinting at certain people to apply. You were hinting at me, Mirror, and Bonsai. Someone else applied who was a bit of a troll. Who was like, you can't take a joke and shit like that. And then like, but when it came to like, I was playing GTA at the time in Mirror's stream. And then they were like giving you shit for a certain thing. And at the time, I didn't have like the mod icons to my left, so I didn't know how to delete a message. So I just timed out for like 10 seconds. And then you actually messaged me saying thank you for doing that, and I was like, what did I do? like, like I completely forgot about it like 10 seconds afterwards. But it's like that's when I knew like yeah I'm probably a worthy mod. Like I know the limits somewhat of like the like what you can and can't take. And it wasn't a case of that you couldn't take a joke. It was just like they were just taking a joke too far. With
Yeah.
that. Like, and especially when it comes to like areas of the world. Like you're in America, I'm in the UK. I think they were in Australia. And obviously the humors are different there in different places. Like some places it's more over the top insults that are taken as jokes. Some places it can be a variety of things, and some places it can be like a bit more wholesome. Like you can make a self-deprecating joke, which either like sparks like "Oh no, you're great," or it sparks with a laugh, or maybe both. And so what you learn is like when you do this is that like there are so many people with so many different styles of humor, so different styles of talking that's how you like really find your friends really through these communities because it's like yeah you can be different but it's more like can you get along with this person and how much. And I think like when it came to your community especially like that's how like I got like some of your community members to come to my streams, and I feel like that's also how I became friends with not just you but also to Mirror as well. Because yeah, we are different, but we get along very well. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of also crazy to think about how, like I know you don't like part two, like The Last of Us Part Two, but like it's kind of crazy about how Twitch and the game itself can bring people together. Because if it wasn't for The Last of Us Part Two, I wouldn't know you. I wouldn't know
I mean,
Mira.
you probably would
I
know
wouldn't know
me.
Soundbite.
You
I
probably would
wouldn't
know me
know.
because it wasn't the game that really got me there, wasn't it? It was like you rating.
Mm, I
I
mean,
I took on
yeah,
for
but like, but whatever. But
you.
but like, I wouldn't know Mira. I wouldn't know like Ray. I wouldn't know Jesse. I wouldn't know Nabil. I wouldn't know Alexandra. I wouldn't know Zombie or Peta. Like, I wouldn't know anybody really.
Yeah,
So it's like crazy to think about how one thing can bring people together like that. And it's like a video game, and people are like, "Oh, it's a video
oh,
game. Like video games don't like matter or
it's
whatever."
just
But
a
it's like,
video game.
but it's like this one game.
It's
Like yes, it's a
art.
video game, but this one game literally brought like my closest people in my life. Like,
Yeah, it's just a game. It's just not only categorically wrong in every sense, but it's also diminishing the impact that games can have. Because while you have your Last of Us 2, I have my Red Dead Redemption 2,
mhm.
which is also like a piece of art. Like it's a massive game, slow burn to the boil. So normally it would not be my style, but the characterization of everyone and how you could relate to certain people, how much you could just despise certain people like it's like that with most games, like with Last of Us, like with uh say like even the Call of Duty games back in those days with like the Modern Warfare campaigns and with the Black Ops campaigns, you you come across these characters, you relate to them, or you are inspired by them and their personality and their actions, and then when they are taken away from you, it's a genuine heartbreak because you spent so much time. So I feel like every time a video game is diminished by it's just a game, I could just say it's just a TV show, it's just a novel, it's just a movie. It doesn't make it any like the word just diminishes things that shouldn't be diminished. And I feel like you and I can both agree on the one thing that video games can be art, and they have been proven to be art by multiple different examples.
Yes, and what you said kind of also reminded me of streaming as a whole too, because like there's so many times that people are like, why would people want to watch you play a video game? Wouldn't you just want to go play it yourself? But at the same time, it's like, okay, well, why do you watch football? Don't you want to just go play it yourself?
I know. Like I love pro wrestling. Like that is a fact about me that is like one of those hidden in plain sight facts, because I make so many wrestling references that nobody gets. Not even in my streams, nobody gets them. I'm just like, from out of nowhere, Randy Orton style. And then like everyone's like, huh? Who the fuck is that Randy Orton? and
Crickets?
Yeah. Not even crickets, not even there making that sound. That's how much people don't understand pro wrestling. And the reason why is because WWE is more soap opera bullshit. But then you go to other companies like New Japan Pro Wrestling or All Elite Wrestling, and they are like, their storylines that they manufacture years like in advance. And like one of my favorite is that of Tetsuya Naito. And I'm gonna monologue here because I love this story so much, and sometimes it can be relatable. So Tetsuya Naito, in like late 2000s, was a young lion, a trainee wrestler. He looked to be a star student, and he kept on like going. He kept on growing and growing as a wrestler and as a performer. And yeah, to the point where he was rewarded the victory of the biggest tournament in the world called the G1 Climax. He won that tournament in 2013, I believe. But like, the more that he like, the more time that he spent between the G1 and the big show called Wrestle Kingdom, fans started to turn against him because they just found him a bit boring, a bit more of a prototype, or a bit more of a cheap version of another wrestler that existed called Hiroshi Tanahashi, who is basically the ultimate hero of New Japan Wrestling. And as a result, people started booing him or giving like silent, like basically whenever I make a wrestling reference and there's silence, that's the response that he used to get by trying to be like the ultimate hero of the company. And as a result, there was a fan poll made to change his main event spot to win the biggest title into a co-main event spot in which he lost. And then since then, after that, he went on an excursion to Mexico, and just became more of his own person, becoming more. And then when he returned, he just came back with a languid disdain, as it was once described, and a bit more of an indifference to his own, like to the fans there. So he was basically being the bad guy, and then ended up having people cheer for him because he was just being himself, and despite being rejected and cast out by basically everyone, he formed his own faction of outcasts called I'm going to abbreviate it LIJ because it's hard to pronounce. And yeah, since then, like in 2017, he won the big tournament again, but once again fell short. But he was in the main event, and everyone was loving him. And then towards the end of the story, in 2019, he was getting the second highest. He had the second highest title. He lost it to the villain of the company. But there was a thing saying like 4 people. There was the big godlike champion, the big godlike challenger, the villain, and Naito, all of which were like in a double gold dash to become both the highest title holder and the second highest title holder. And like everyone was behind him, like everyone wanted him to win it, and he at the end won in like January 2020. I don't know if that says a lot about why like the world went to an end or came to a screeching halt. I can't really tell you about that. But like, I feel like when it came to like that story and like that the story being told, that was from like 2008 to 2020. That's 12 years worth of story, and it can't be told in any other medium. And you have people saying that wrestling is fake and like it's just shit and just soap opera shit. But when you see how grounded certain stories are, and how different each person's story is, and how you can actually learn from them, it's like, for me, that's why I enjoy pro wrestling. And it's the same thing with games, really, where it's just like in the pro wrestling story that I was talking about, it's more be yourself and, you know, put in the hours, and you'll get to the mountaintop eventually just by being yourself. no matter how long that mountaintop may take. And I feel like with video games, like it also has those lessons where it's just like Last of Us 2 is obviously mainly about revenge. Red Dead Redemption 2 is similar, like it's one of the main themes. Revenge is a fool's game. And then you have more of these video game like lessons that you learn. Is there any like big lesson that you've learned from a video game? Would you say that has like stuck with you?
Um, Honestly, probably because I mean I'm so like obsessed with it right now, but probably because uh probably not to let like things get to you so much and try to forgive people not for them but for yourself.
Yeah,
Because like going on that revenge like
yeah,
or just holding a grudge or whatever, it's not healthy for you mentally or physically in the apocalypse world. um but yeah, so probably like learn to forgive people, not necessarily for them but mainly for yourself.
yeah. Like even when you just take away the revenge aspect of everything, yeah, forgiveness at the end of everything is like the best thing you can do. Like you can forgive and not forget. Like you can always learn, but also like I feel like whenever like you do like learn from your mistakes, then like you feel like it's a bit easier to forgive because you've learned from it before. Uh, but yeah, like I don't really think there's like a game that has taught me that really. Not even Last of Us or like even Last of Us 2, I guess. Not even Red Dead Redemption 2. Like no game has taught me forgiveness. That's just that it's more of a thing that has just been part of me the entire time. But I've always had like the fixation of like revenge, so it's more of a now we're even sort of thing. Like for like certain things that I've had in my life, I'm just like, well, if you're gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, then we're even. But obviously after playing Red Dead 2 and and actually like one of my things that I like, despite the fact that I don't like Last of Us 2, I can actually respect it because it's actually given me so much to think about in my spare time. Like I wake up or like I'm going to bed and like, well, there's this angle that I haven't taken yet about the game. uh, so I'm just like, wow, damn. And I guess that's how I learned a lot more about perspective. Like, I think that's how I've become more understanding. Like, just seeing, like, because even when it's unintentionally doing it, it's still giving you more perspective just by thinking about it. And I feel that's probably why I don't want to sound soppy here, but why I think of you as a really good friend is that you are actually very understanding. You're probably one of the more understanding friends that I have when it comes to certain things. Like you don't always like 100% get it, but you understand where I'm coming from for something. Uh, and yeah, like when it comes to that, like I think that's why like I feel like in a sense your streams and you as a human being have benefited me as a human being myself for that. Because like a few days ago, I sent you a message that made you cry. Admit it, it made you cry.
It was allergies.
And
It was allergies.
nah, but it's like I meant every word of it because it's like I could just be sitting here, allergies. I could be sitting here and like instead of like doing this right now, I could be just like watching something and minding my own business, doing nothing. But because I want to do more, I want to revolutionize some certain things, or I want to like be like I want to improve myself in something. The way that the way that I see you grow and change, and also make like look for ways to make yourself better, it's actually encouraged me to do the same. And I feel like, excuse me, when you get to those like people who like just push you without pushing you, Like those are like the nicest kind of people that I need like in my life, and you being one of them is like I said, like it's just been a gift, really. So don't pull that face. I feel like you're going.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like you don't have to. At the end of the day, you don't have to just. Well, for me, like I always had this thing where I just had to joke around and be banterous with my friends, like be the comedy guy, because at the end of the day, if I'm not that, what am I? But like throughout the past couple of years, I've learned that sometimes it's better off just to be that wholesome friend, to be the person who can make those jokes. But at the end of the day, you just want to tell people how great they are in your life, and yeah, you're certainly one of those people who, not just with me though. Well, I mean, I feel like we've talked about me with this quite a bit. Let's talk about like two certain individuals that I feel like you've helped maybe more than me, not just as a human but also as a streamer. Let's talk about Mirror and Alexandra, I think. So which one do you want to talk about first?
Okay. Oh, all right. We're gonna talk about them.
Yeah. Which one would you like to talk about first? Because I feel like they are two different cases, even if they are a little bit similar.
Yeah, I mean, they are definitely similar, but they're also very different. We could talk about Mira first because she's the one that came along first.
She was the one who came along first. So I don't know
and
how
I've known her
came.
longer too.
I don't know how you came along Mirror. If it was like during streaming, you saw like, oh, she's got pretty hair, let's rate her, or if it was like you watch her off stream or something like that. Which one was it? I can't remember.
Yeah, so about Mira, I was still the stream manager for Team Caladrius, and so I was going along just browsing Twitch, trying to find streamers to recruit. And I was like, you know what? I want to recruit someone that like seems like a good person, and so like I went to the Tilu category because I feel like
secretly wanted to grow your Last of Us faction in Team Caladrius, didn't you? Just admit it.
I mean, maybe a little bit, but like, but like, no, like I wanted to like recruit somebody that, I feel like would be like a really good person and a really good like asset and whatnot. And I feel like The Last of Us, like anybody playing The Last of Us, is probably like that good person or whatever because just of the game itself. Like I've met so many amazing people in The Last of Us, so I was like, why not meet more? And so I was just scrolling. I went all the way down to about the 6 average viewers or like the 6 viewers or whatever. And I was like, oh, this person has blue hair. Interesting. And so I clicked on her stream and then I just started chatting with her and she was really sweet and I think she was doing a grounded run and she was like at the time debating if she wanted to do permadeath or not.
It, and then I think you pushed her saying you should absolutely do it. You're doing very well.
And I
during that, I think it was a 24-hour stream that she started.
Yeah, she started her attempts in the 24-hour stream, which I don't even remember what month that was. I'm really bad at timelines.
Or March time. One of those two, because I followed Mirror in February. Wait, I've got important dates here, including your birthday. So, and my follow age. Let's see. Yeah, 3rd of February 2021 was when I followed Mirror, and that was when you raided her. So it was during February, like late February time.
Yeah, well, I found Mira, I believe in January. Like, probably, like, maybe late January or mid-January or something. And so, yeah, I found Mira, I believe, in January. And so then, like, she seemed really cool, and so we just, like, started chatting, and, like, I was helping her with strats, with The Last of Us, to, like, help her, like, just improve, because she seemed like she was struggling a little bit with certain things, and, like, but it was also, like, I helped her also with things that you don't really necessarily think about, but it's also helpful. Like, I remember one thing that I told her that she didn't know was that whenever you're close enough to like somebody, and you are holding like a bottle or something you could throw, that it'll auto lock onto you. Like you don't have to like aim to throw it. And so,
You know, there's another one that
yeah,
you
so
learned similar to that, where or like you taught her. I think it was like, or she taught you. It was like when you aim. You know that part where the mines are, where you have to throw bricks to explode them. That you
mhm.
don't have to just aim. You can just aim, let go, and it'll just underarm throw auto lock onto those as well. I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
P-Dub actually taught me how to like auto aim on those, because like if you just throw it, like Ellie will just like throw it and you're just like, really, Ellie? But like P-Dub actually taught me how to quickly aim and then like stop aiming, but then throw it like right away and it'll like lock on.
That
So
is.
that's
Yeah.
pretty helpful.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to strats in permadeath, like, I'm surprised that a 1-year-old game can actually. It wasn't even a year old. It was like what, like 8 months old. That people are finding strats already for the most MLG thing that you can do in the game. I'm just like, Jesus Christ, calm down, guys. Uh,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, when it came to Mirror, you certainly like helped her out with a few things. You also became a supermod, right? That's what they call them, a supermod for stream elements and stuff like that.
Okay, February 11th. So close enough to January is when I followed Mira.
Okay, hold on. You followed her February 11th.
Yes,
It must have been before
apparently.
that because I only know her because you raided her. I followed on the 3rd of February. You must have unfollowed and refollowed to check an alert or something.
Probably, maybe.
That
So I
is,
think I did find her late January
yeah, it must have been late
then,
January.
because like, yeah, because like I was like helping her and we were chatting and all that stuff, and like we even started chatting on Discord, and like so I was like, this person's actually really, really cool, but she only has like 6 viewers, whereas I right now like had like 50 to 70 viewers. And so like I wanted to help her out. And so that's when I was like, hey, so random, like when are you streaming next? And so then she streamed the next day, and then that's when I rated her.
Yeah.
Um
Can you believe that she was still in that hot topic job when we met her,
mhm.
and now she's actually like looking to go full time streaming, isn't she? Like it.
Yeah,
Oh, how the mighty have grown.
even though she mentioned like a couple days ago that she's probably gonna have to find another job.
Yeah,
Um
the fact that she was
and
still
she's thinking
able to
about
try it
maybe
out is, yeah,
yeah, and she's thinking about maybe seeing about Hot Topic again.
yeah. To be fair to it, like she managed to go like how long? Like over a month. Well, not over a month. Like how long? Like half a year, I guess. Of not being in that job. And still like managing to live on not just like Eli's earnings, but also her own from streaming. Like
Mhm.
that, I think it shows that she is like capable, and she's definitely capable of like going full time with it because she's been doing it for how long now? 6 months, like I said. Like
Yeah.
she is like, and you know, it like she's got like she's had a lot of shit thrown at her, and the fact that she's still able to keep going with her streams, like you found a good one, Sammy. You found a good one. You found
I
a very strong person.
I would say so.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like, and we had this conversation on my stream a few days ago. That's kind of crazy to think about, like where people's lives might be if I never found them. Like if I never was
yeah. I
like
remember that.
it's just crazy. It's just crazy how one person can change the life of someone so much. Like I'm not like trying to toot my own horn or anything, but it's like it's just
Yeah.
crazy to think about
How about I changed
that
your
one
life,
person
Sammy? Be honest.
that one person can like just have that much of an impact on somebody.
Yeah, I mean, we actually have like talked about the impact that you've had on my life. And yeah, I mean, I'm gonna be honest. You're not the only one who has had a big impact on my life, but you've certainly been like you've had an impact big enough for me to not only notice, but also be forever thankful for.
Oh.
And yeah, I feel like Mirror's the same way because it's like, yeah, like she's learned a lot from you, hasn't she? Like, not only of the super modern stream elements, like she's learned a lot there, but also like the strats for Last of Us 2, uh, like the amount of impact that you've had on people's lives has been amazing. Uh, and I feel like the most impactful one is one that we're about to talk about from from you meeting young Alexandra Blanca. I say young, she's older than both of us.
Yes, Alexandra Blanker, which when I met her, she was not Alexandra Blanker. That
No.
goober had like that goober literally because she didn't know, and I had talked to her about this, but like she had her first and her last name as her Twitch username, and I was like,
I mean,
there's there could be some creeps on the internet. You might not want to
yeah.
completely like, especially as like a female in a male dominant platform, you might not want to completely expose your last name. And
Yeah,
so
not,
then
not
she changed it to
completely.
Blanker.
Yeah.
And then she changed it to Blanker.
I think that's the first impact that you've had on it. And yeah, like when
Yeah.
did you meet? When did Alexandra either come to you, or when did you come to Alexandra's streams? Like one of the two happened. I can't remember which happened. Well, I don't know which happened.
Yeah. So I don't remember this, but apparently I guess she was scrolling on Twitch and she just randomly came across my stream and then she followed me. But I don't remember her like saying anything in chat or anything. But then she was also in Mira's chat and she saw the montage I made for Mira, and so then she was like, "Oh, sweet, who made that montage?" And I just happened to be in chat, and so I was like, "Oh, I did," and like I guess that was like our first like actual like
Mm.
interaction. But then probably a few weeks later, I was watching Zombite, and Zombite was like, "Oh, let's go raid someone. Let's go raid Alexandra. She's pretty cool." Blah 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 blah. And I was like, "All right." Like usually when a streamer raids, um, I'll go with the raid to kind of help like support the streamer that I was just watching. And you never know, you might find someone pretty cool too whenever like you're going into another channel. And so I went with the raid, and so then Alexandra was just like funny. She was cool. She was struggling a lot with The Last of Us Part Two, kind of like Mira. But she was like at the Stalker Forest area, which on Grounded, which was very understandable because that area is kind of difficult already.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's a glitch, isn't it? Like, well, it had a glitch at the time that was like Mira was getting super pissed about like that glitch in Stalker Forest. Like I
yeah,
remember, like it was such a shit
yeah,
glitch.
yeah. I never really got that glitch. I think it's because I think I found out how to avoid it.
Either you found out how to
But
avoid it, or it was a PS5 only glitch. Who can say?
I mean, it could have been that too, because like I've just learned that just help Lev when you need to help Lev. Otherwise, you might get the glitch where Lev dies, and that's not fun for anybody. Also, like stay close to the car because if you start going away from the car, then the fight lasts longer than it should. So if you stay closer to the car, then you can move on quicker. But so she was doing the Stalker Forest / the restaurant area on per chapter, and I can tell you, I usually give people probably a minute to 5 minutes, whenever I go into somebody's stream. Like that's like a lot because like a lot of people usually give someone like 10 seconds
Yeah,
to like
I
be like, all right, show me why I should watch you. But I give people like probably a minute to 5 minutes or whatever. Um, and I ended up staying in Alexandra's stream for probably 2-3 hours. Um,
I mean that's
and
when
it
you know
was
you
kind
found a
of
good streamer.
yeah, but not only that, like I guess I also kind of felt special too because I guess right before the raid, Alexandra was talking about Mira's montage and whatnot. And so, like, I came in, I was like, "Hey, what's up?" or whatever, and the first thing Alexander says is, "Hey, pineapple sandwich, I was just talking about you," and then that, like, immediately made me intrigued, and I'm like, "Why? What did I do?" Like, so made me feel special that I was being talked about, but I was also
Yeah.
curious, like,
I actually,
"Why are you talking about me?"
yeah, I had that experience like about a month ago. Spicy Brit stream. She is such a good look. She is such a lovely person. Uh, Fun fact: she once got told that she looked like Elliot Page. So, and I was like, I have a friend who gets told that all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like it's such a good feeling when it's like you enter a stream and like, oh, hey, such and such. I was just talking about you. Did I summon you accidentally or something like that? And yeah, like I feel like when it came to that, like I felt like that was your first moment where you're like, you know what, I like this person. uh, yeah, like, and I remember like I don't want to expose anything, but before Alexandra told you anything, you and I were
Mhm.
talking about it with speculation, thinking, well, she does, like, I have been seeing her being quite complimentary of you, Sammy. I don't know about you. Like, I know, like, I think you're right with this, Sammy. She might like you.
Yeah, yeah. And I like even talked about this, I think on yesterday's stream, where before she told me anything, I remember I popped into one of her streams. It was like right as she like pressed that go live button, and like she was texting me, and like she just had like this big smirk on her face, and I literally called her out in text being like, "What you smirking about?" And then she, like, looked at the camera, like, all embarrassed, and then she, like, pushed the camera away, and then I, like, gave her a hard time about that too, being like, "Oh, yeah, that makes it any better. Just like, that just confirms that you're smirking."
You just
Like
confirmed, like, and then, like, the thing is, like, I'm going to be honest here. When, like, you know this because I've told you this, but at first I was like skeptical of her. I was just
mhm.
like, because we've seen people in your stream before where they try to hit on you right away, and I'm just like, ban. And then like we talked about stories about people saying that to you before, and you're just like saying, sorry, no, no, I'm asexual, no, and then you just reject them, and then you never hear from them again. And you've even had mods like that. So yeah, one thing
Yeah.
when I was like when you first said well when we first basically confirmed that Alexandra liked you, I was like, I don't think you should, mate. I don't think you should because you know you never know. Like I was very skeptical. And like with like I always get very suspicious of people who are overly complimentary when it comes to that. But you know, these amount of months later, the only like I also told you like one of my biggest fears was like being left behind by a friend. So like even if you did get in a relationship with her, which you did, I had the fear that you're
I
just
did.
yeah yeah you did. Who knew that? Accidentally exposed you. I hadn't even told no one, and I just exposed you right now with that. uh,
Everybody in the community knows, so
like
it's like, it's whatever.
what? Uh,
What?
but yeah, like my biggest fear was like when people start dating, they tend to leave me behind. And you said like, well, that's not going to happen, and I partially believed you, but also partially like, mm, you know, things change. And yeah, like there was a time where I was just like thinking to myself, have I been left behind? Have I? But here we are now, and not only have you not left me behind, but also you're doing this for me.
Yeah,
Like
and kinda last minute too.
kind of last minute as well. For anyone who doesn't know, this was like I did initially invite Mirror to do the first one, but unfortunately, like she didn't know whether or not she would have been able to. So I went to ask CK, Unfortunately, he was all booked up until like past New Year's Day. And so I was like, last minute, hey Sammy.
Wow, so I was the third choice. Ooh.
Yeah, you're the third choice, but that I think
Ooh.
to be fair, like I had like a list of like and I have like them in tier lists like S, A, B, C, combining like how well I get on with them with how available they are. And you are S tier on that list, so don't worry, you're on the same level as them. But I just thought to myself, well, I don't know like how available Sammy would be compared to these other two.
I mean, in reality, though, like, yeah, I'm busy, and yeah, I say I'm busy, but at the same time, if I know that a friend needs me, or if I know that, like, a friend wants to do a podcast with me or whatever, then I tend to make time for my friends. So even though, yeah, I say I'm busy, but I'm also, like, a flexible busy.
Yeah, like you should do other things, but you want to help as well. So you're like, okay, yeah, you know, I'm up for it. I get
Yeah.
that very much. Like I'm like that with my friends. Well, I used to be like that with my friends, but then I started streaming, and so as a result, I had to become less flexible with my schedule. And yeah,
Yeah, but honestly though, like going back to what you were saying about being skeptical about like Alexandra and whatnot,
yeah,
I mean, like we even talked about it too. Like I also wasn't sure. Like I was really
yeah.
confused and like I was talking to you and Mira about it and I'm like I don't know what to do. Like cuz like I don't know, it just seemed like the whole Alexandra situation was different than the other ones cuz like she wasn't like being creepy about anything. She wasn't like going like all in or anything. She just tends to wear her heart on her sleeves kind of thing.
Yeah.
But and so like yeah, I was like also a little skeptical too cuz I'm like I don't know, but like I think at the same time I was also questioning it because I was like I am feeling feelings I've never felt before. I didn't know how to like
Imagine
react to
having
that
feelings.
either. I'm like no, what is my heart doing? I don't know.
Why is it
And so
increasing so rapidly whenever I talk to her?
yeah, I'm like, why is my heart pounding right now? I'm talking to a person.
That is the worst
Uh,
feeling when you have feelings for someone you don't know it yet, but your heart just and you're just like, calm down.
yeah, and like you said, like I've had people in chat that like come in, they're like, "Oh, do you have a boyfriend?" or like just be like all headstrong on it, and I'm like,
Yeah,
"Nope, go away." Like I'm Ace. And then I've had like people in real life, like someone at the theater one time, like made me feel like kind of creeped and watched and whatnot, and um made me feel super like uncomfortable in ways. And so then but like I can't like ban hammer her because she's like in person. Like I can't just like ban her in person. Uh but yeah, and then I've had that mod that I've had multiple talkings to that is now banned.
uh,
Um
that mod is it the specific one that had an issue with me? Is it that
maybe? I don't
the one
remember.
that was like, oh, he's trying to take over
Oh no. No, it was a different person.
a different person?
Even though he also funny enough, came clean to me about having feelings for me, and I'm like, no, why?
Piss
Go
off,
away.
piss off.
Like why so many people? Like like all through high school, middle school, elementary school, whatever. Like I just no one has ever came clean about feelings or whatever until I like stream and now like everybody and I'm like, no, stop it, go away.
You know what, I'm gonna say
Uh
count yourself lucky because I've not had that yet.
Aw. But yeah, I don't know.
20
Out,
years
out
single, motherfuckers.
23 years single,
No, you're not.
and
I mean,
I
23 years, yes, you were
now
single, but that was, yeah, that was partially your choice, though.
it was, but it was also like
Oh
I
shit,
didn't
I need
like
to I need
anybody.
to ban Cookie.
But it was also like I didn't like anybody, so it's like I'm not going to force myself to be in a relationship when I don't have feelings for
Yeah,
anybody. 'Cause Yeah, because even like when I graduated high school already, I've had a couple people that I went to high school with that were like, "Hey, like I like you" or whatnot, and I'm like, "I haven't talked to you since high school, so I don't think you do."
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
like, No.
like, genuinely, like, I feel like when it comes to that shit, it's just like high school, you say, like, how long ago was that? And, like, for you, that was like 5 years? Maybe even
I
longer.
gradu I graduated 2016.
2016, 5 years. Almost 6 years. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. So I graduated 2016. So
hmm. But yeah,
same
like,
year I started streaming. So much happened 2016.
2016 was your year.
Apparently,
When was my?
apparently.
I feel like my year was actually incidentally 2020 or no 2021. I would say like this year's been my year. Like I would say because let's see what's happened like for me in that year. Well, the end of the end of last year, I followed you. That has in turn caused me to join Team Calagris, leave Team Calagris, make friends in Team Calagris, go off and do my own thing, start a podcast. Uh, like I feel like I like it like when you have that year where everything just truly begins, that's when you're like, okay, hell yeah, we're off to the races. But of course, like we said, like 2016 was your year. Uh, but like, would you say 2016 was your year, or would you say like another year was your year?
I would personally say 2020 was because that's when my stream and what I really cared about really started growing. Um, so yeah, I would say 2020 was definitely my year.
Yeah, which is weird considering the situation the world's in, but you know what?
Yeah, but also it's like everyone was home, and so that kind of probably helped
Yeah.
the streamer world.
Yeah, that is true. That did certainly help, and that's probably what pushed me to start uh 14 months ago to the day. uh
Yeah. Oh, speaking of Alexandra
she's
Blanker,
been there the
sorry.
entire time.
Has she really?
Yeah, so when we were talking about her, she's been there the entire time.
Awkward.
Hi Alexandra. Yeah, I've been looking at chats. Her account's been there. She might have been lurking, or she might have been doing her own thing, but she's been here the entire time. But yeah, like, I mean, I'm happy to admit that I was skeptical. I've been here the whole time. uh, yeah, like at first I was skeptical about Alexandra, to the point where like I was just like getting annoyed by things that she was saying. I was like, stop. But then like time went on, and you know what? I do like Alexandra. She's great. And
She is pretty great.
it did take me a while to realize that the problem wasn't her at all. But better late than never, I guess. But
Yeah,
yeah,
and I mean, I will admit too, because like, yeah, like at first I was, like I said, I like at the very, very beginning, like very, very beginning, I was also skeptical just because of like the past situations I've been in, where people like wouldn't take no for an answer or like were like creepy about it or like whatever. So yeah, I was skeptical at first too.
she's only a
But
serial killer.
she could have been like I was making jokes like the whole time where
What's with
like
I'm an actor. Put it in here in place of Chris because Chris is dead.
but like no like when we left New Orleans I was making like I just kept making a joke being like, oh yeah, you could kill me right now and throw me on the side of the road and nobody would even know, like you could
Wait,
kill me right now.
She's like the same size as you. Of course she. I mean, you could do the same for her.
um no, she's a lot stronger than I am and she's
Oh,
a little bit taller than I am. I don't have muscles whatsoever.
yeah. Hold on, wait
But
there. Arm out to the side. He's got smaller arms. Because
yeah,
we've actually had that conversation,
but
haven't we, with our strengths?
but I do want to say though, and I'm not just saying this because she's literally here right now, but I do want to say that yes, at first I was very skeptical and I was like questioning the whole thing, like, does she like me? Am I like seeing into things or whatever? Because like there were some things that I was like, I can't tell if she likes me or if I'm just reading into things. But I do want to say that I have that as time went, feelings were growing and weren't going away. They weren't going away. And so I was like, okay, all right. I think I understand what the heart wants. And so then that's when I was like, all right, I will try this thing and see what happens, and I don't regret it at all.
Yeah, I feel like when it comes to especially like both our frames of mind, Alexandra is probably the definition of don't judge a book by its cover.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I will admit, like, she's a little, like, she's not, like, completely, like, she's, who you see on stream is who she is in person as well.
That's the thing.
But just,
Like when
like,
I saw her on stream, like without you, like that at one point, I was just like, I actually just felt like she was really nice, and that's when the turning point started because you went there. But Alexandra was streaming, and I was there. And it's like, I just had to say hi, and she was really nice, and I was just like, shit, I'm wrong. Shit, I was wrong this entire time.
yeah, I mean, she's a really nice person. She's hilarious. Like, she bursts out into music randomly, even off stream. Like, there have been so many times, like, when I went to go visit her or she came here, that she would just, like, randomly burst in a song. And, like, one of those times was when we were in my living room and my parents were standing right or like sitting right there, and she just like started singing. I don't even remember what she started singing, but she just started like bursting out into song of some sort. And
Imagine if
my
she went
mom
full
looked,
Broadway, just like started dancing as well, like.
I mean, Alexandra's life is basically a musical. I'm sorry to admit it, but it basically is when someone just randomly bursts out into
High School
music.
Musical or Greatest Showman? On a scale of High School Musical to Greatest Showman, what is Alexandra's life?
On a scale of High School Musical to Greatest Showman?
Yeah. So 1 to 10.
Footloose.
Shit, I don't know where Footloose would be.
But no, I like not High School Musical, but also not Greatest Showman.
Yeah, so I'm gonna guess it's past halfway. So I'll say halfway would be Les Mis. So between Les Mis and Greatest Showman, I'll put Footloose.
Yeah, but like
Legally Blonde the musical. True.
But like, oh heck no. But like no, like she can like. And what's even better though is like it's one thing if someone bursts out into song and they're not like a great singer. It's another thing when they are a good singer. And like she could sing too. And she's even noticed that since she left the house that she was like currently in, and now she's living with her grandma, like her voice has gotten better too because she like sings a lot more too. And so yeah, yeah. She's got a great voice.
Great voice.
She's a talented one.
And a great cat as well. Toby's mine. I'm just saying it. Toby's mine, Alexandra. Mine.
Did you just say Toby's yours?
Toby's not mine. Yeah.
Oh, those are fighting words.
Yeah.
Like within an hour, within an hour of meeting Toby was already jumping in my lap, which is kind of funny because Alexandra was just like the first time Toby jumped in my lap, Alexandra literally like looked at me like, what the fuck is happening? Like, mate, I've never seen Toby warm up.
It happened to the first hour of you. It would take me 10 minutes. It once took me 10 minutes for a ginger cat to warm up to me.
But yeah, it was just like, because like Alexandra literally like looked at me and Toby and was like, this is the quickest I've seen Toby actually warm up to somebody. Like, what the heck? And then like within the first 2 days, I think Toby has jumped in my lap like 6 times. And Alexandra was just confused the whole time. And then there's times that Toby would lay next to me when we try to go to sleep. And Alexandra's like, I feel betrayed. Like,
I think what that shows more than
So
anything is that you two are made for each other. That the cat loves you.
no.
I love how this became the Alexandra Blanca podcast. I feel bad the attention is too much. Move on. No. I tell you what, Alexandra, if you want to co-host, you want Sammy, if you want to co-host at any point, I'm down for having a co-host. Thank you, Buttspot.
But yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah. I feel like we've got an hour 45, so let's have one more question, one more big question. And
All right.
I feel like we should talk about your friends and family and their reactions when you told them that you streamed.
Correction, I didn't. Well,
How did they
not my
find
friends
out?
at least. Not my friends at least. I told probably a couple of them because like I was like super excited and like I just started and I was like, oh my gosh, I hit 1,000 followers. Like I was just like super excited, and now I'm at like 5,500. But anyways, I don't even know how many followers I'm at,
Yeah, you're like
but
at 5.5, 5.7.
something like that.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just know I'm in the 5,000s. But yeah, so like I would just get like super excited. Like I'll go to soccer practice and be like, I just got like 50 follows today. I was doing great. But yeah, so them and then a couple of my friends actually made a Twitch account to follow me. They never show, and then they showed up in my stream probably like once or twice, and then I've never seen them again. But my family, yeah, I don't really talk about streaming with my friends very often, but my family, my mom didn't understand it. She's like, well, if it makes you happy, whatever. Like she didn't really understand like the whole like it can make me money thing. Whenever like I was able to finally make money. And my dad completely didn't understand it whatsoever. He still has a hard time understanding it and the fact that it can be a full-time job. If it ever gets to that point. And my uncle, he actually used to work at a radio show or like a radio station. And so whenever I told him that I was like a streamer or whatnot, like he's like all interested. He like will ask me questions. He'll ask me like what my viewership is like whenever I see him. He'll ask me like how much money I made like the last month or whatever. Whenever he comes like over to the house or whatever, he'll come to my room to like see my setup and everything because like it reminds him of his like radio station days. So like his support was pretty cool. And even still for Christmas, him and my aunt are actually going to pay for my like this house to have the best internet we can have. So they're literally going to be paying for like our internet upgrade.
Which is a good thing considering yesterday.
Oh my gosh. And that only lasted like 10 minutes though, and then like it was like back to normal. Like I don't
You
understand.
must have had like a hiccup at some point.
Like yeah, I don't understand. But yeah, so I still don't have like that best internet, but hopefully we'll get it soon before I actually move out of this house because then that won't be a Christmas gift to me and my dad. That'll be a Christmas gift to my dad. So like
Yeah. I feel like when it comes to like your family, like yeah, I feel like they seem like incredibly supportive in that sense. Like especially your uncle, he's like he's asking you all these questions, and it kind of reminds me of my mother in that sense. Like just asking me how many followers are you at now? Are you getting you, or like she'll just occasionally ask, "Are you working today?" Because I use the term working instead of streaming. Because yeah, just like you, I want to make this full time at one point, or at least part time. And she just asked like, "Are you gonna be working today?" And I was like, "No, tomorrow," or "Yes, 3 p.m." or something like that. And sometimes she would ask, "Are you getting new followers? Good. I'm proud of you," stuff like that. And I haven't told her what my Twitch name is. Like I refuse to say to my family what my Twitch name is because I don't want them to A, watch my stuff, and B, hear what I say. Not because like I swear, because they hear me swear all the time, but like whenever I get deep, I tend to not be deep with my family because it's just like I have other people for that, and sometimes I get a bit deep on stream. So
Yeah.
in that sense, like uh streaming is like a bit of like an escape route sometimes. Like sometimes it's just like you have a hard day and then you go streaming, and instantly people make you feel better. And I'm like, I feel like, have you had that ever? Like with your streaming,
Where things just get deep?
where well sometimes when things get deep, or but also like sometimes when you have a bad day and then it instantly becomes better the moment you stream.
Yes.
Yes, a bit of
Yeah.
answers.
Yes, like
Okay.
I mean, it kind of happens a lot where like I'll just go like I'm having like I wake up kind of in like a meh mood, whether that was just from like having a hard time sleeping or like a bad dream or like whatever. And then I press that go live button and then instantly seeing like you in chat, Bonsai in chat, Alexandra in chat, Jesse, Nabil, Lazu, like just seeing like all these like faces. Well, names, not faces, but names. It just instantly makes my day better, and it feels great. Or not bonsai in chat because
Or
it's
not
totally
bonsai in
not
chat, gambling
totally not
or
bonsai, totally not bonsai.
uh
But yeah, it just like makes the day better.
yeah. I'm glad that I'm one of those people who can make your day better just by my sheer appearance. uh like I'm just like, what really? Me of all people? Uh and
Yeah, and then you and like other people in chat, it's like there are days where you guys literally make it your mission to
to make you cry.
say really nice things to try to make me cry. And I'm like, but like, I'm the type of person to where I will literally hold it in until I'm not being watched. So like, I will hold like in any tears or any emotion or whatever until I hit that end stream button. And then that's when like all the emotions like just pour out. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like,
Yeah, like what I love about that is just like it's like I said earlier, I'm not saying it just to make you cry. Like sometimes I make it go to the point where I am trying to make you cry. Don't get me wrong, but it's also because it's true. Like it's weird how like just one person can make your day just that lot better, that whole much better, just by their appearance and the way that the fact that you say like me in that list of exceptional names. It really is like quite a privilege to be part of like that. Well, to be part of that group in the community where like I can say something and it will mean that much to you.
yeah. And like, and I'm about to expose her too, but like, it's just crazy also how much like you see like these certain people in your chat and like these certain names and whatnot and like how much they actually like support you and whatnot. Cause like I finally got to see my streamer and my viewer um recap for this year. And I'm pretty sure I said this on stream, but I'm about to expose her. Lazu literally has the most points in my channel with over 400,000 channel points. Like that is
Yeah,
insane to me. I've never had that many channel
Lazu,
points in any stream.
Lazu is such a legend. Responsible for that
Yeah.
thing that you see in chat right there, little baby tiger emotes. Lazu made that and gave it to me for free. What a legend. Oh
Yeah, or sometimes when you feel like you need to cry, you just take a quick bathroom break.
yeah,
Or
sometimes.
turn on the montage button.
Yeah, I mean, I'm okay with crying on stream. I've been close before, but it was more out of like having a shit day than anything else. But like, I've never really cried out of like happiness on stream yet. I came close though, and once again, I'm going to expose Spicy Brit here for a massive raid on my 1 year stream anniversary, and then like everyone just staying around. Well, not everyone, but a lot of people staying around, and it's like, wow. Like, it really is like it makes me so happy when you uh like you just have those moments where like as a viewer you see the streamer, and I like it when they do cry in happiness because like it just shows that like they truly do appreciate it. And when you try and hold it in, that's just as good because it's like you don't want to cry about it, like you don't want to cry on stream, but the fact that you're trying to hold it in and trying to hold in those tears shows that you really do care still. Like you really do like care about what people are saying and how much you have impacted people's lives.
Yeah, but I've always been the type of person where I do not like crying in front of people. Like I do not like there have been multiple times where like I'm just like really upset and sad or whatever, and like I'm in a Discord call with Alexandra, and like there will be times where I feel like I'm going to cry or like I'm going to tear up or whatever, thinking about whatever, and I will literally turn off my camera or turn the potato on or something like in case I was going to tear up. So she's actually only seen me cry probably twice. And my mom has seen it probably a handful of times. But other than that, like I do not cry in front of people,
I think
like
at
at
one
all.
point, I can't remember when, it was sometime this year, someone did something very nice to you. I don't know if it was a bear donation or something like that, but like I
That's happened a
remember,
couple times.
yeah. But at one point, like you told me, like after stream, that you went to your mum and straight up like cried and hugged her, just out of sheer happiness, of someone doing
Yeah,
something so generous. I can't remember what
yeah.
it was. A part
I
of me
mean,
feels like it might have been bear. No, it
I
wasn't.
don't.
I don't think it was bear. I
I
think it was. Was it Lady Knight doing a like 100 gifts up or something like that? Someone did 100 gifts up, right?
I don't remember when it was, but yeah, someone did 100 gifted subs at one point, and then there was that day where I made like $1,600 in one stream because of Dwarven and Dubby. And then there was that one stream where Bear just gifted like $1,000, and like yeah, there's
What a
there's
fucking mad
been
lad.
there's been moments in my stream where I'm just like, what the fuck is happening? It's like, yeah, I'll go to my mom and I'll be like I'll be like literally like edge of tears of happiness, and like my mom's like, what's wrong? And then I'll tell her, and she's like, well, that's amazing, and I'm like, yeah, but make it stop. Like I don't want to cry.
Sometimes you just gotta let your emotions out, mate. Sometimes you just gotta. Like you can just do it.
Yeah,
Like you can just shed a few tears and then you can just swallow the rest. Just
yeah,
shed a few tears. Swallow the rest of the tears down. I don't know how that's not how tears work, but
yeah.
uh,
I will say that I definitely need to learn how to be more like vulnerable in front of people, or like more vulnerable on stream.
yeah.
Because yeah, I
I,
feel like there's been moments where people have like done a lot to try to make me cry, and like it brought me like to the edge. But like I've been so good about just holding things in to where like I don't actually shed a tear on stream. And so like yeah, but behind the scenes, like yeah, I've
yeah.
cried from
Uh,
happiness.
like I still remember like we talked about this like I think either at the start of the stream or before we started, and I was like talking about how I basically how I made you cry. And you're like, it's just allergies. uh,
Yeah,
I feel like I've done
yeah,
that a few times though now, like this past year, like probably like 3 times.
yeah, and that's why we have the allergies channel redemption.
Yeah. Uh, well, I feel like this we should put this podcast to a close. Bring it to a
All right,
close. Thank you once again so much, not just for being here, but also for filling in at the last moment.
of course,
And for being the
it was
first ever
fun.
guest. How does that feel?
I feel pretty damn special.
Well, you are that. So once again, guys, you probably do already. That's probably why you're here. Uh, but if you're not, follow Sammy. She is a Last Word 2 streamer. one of the best to do it. Yeah, like I feel like having you be the first guest is probably fitting because you are the person who basically started uh what I like to call my rise throughout this year. Like I feel like you're the reason why this year has been my year. Because
Oh,
you pushed me to be better. You pushed me to be better. There's no other way to say
oh,
it. And I hope that I have impacted your life as a friend in you know, in positive ways myself. And if
you
you,
definitely have.
I'm glad. I am glad. And if you want to talk about specifically what I've helped you with, then I won't stop you.
Uh,
You're not going to say anything?
that
uh,
is for me to know, and maybe you to find out later.
Off stream. Okay. But yeah. Once again, thank you to everyone for being here. This will be uploaded to YouTube on my YouTube channel. Not instantly. I'm going to edit it down. Or like, I'm going to edit down the beginning of it at the very least. But you know what? It's going to be uploaded there. So if you want to like rewatch it, then it'll be available on the YouTubes. I don't have a link just yet, but if you keep an eye on my Discord or my Twitter, let's see. If you want to join the Discord, I should say, there's the link. The bot does not work, so if I know you and you join, then I'll manually give you the thing. Do I have a Twitter? This command. There's my Twitter if you want to see it. So, is there anything that you want to say before we go?
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. I can't really I can't really say that seriously because I should really thank you, but I already have. And until next time, stay calm, take things easy, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.